hoping that shows up as a thumbnail for this. But anyway, I was going through my my tub of railroad scrap, and I came across a lock washer here. Now, a lot of lock washers are hardenable steel, or they're work hardened to the point that they're hardenable. Now this, I'm going to bet, is probably a spring steel of some sort. But what I'm going to do, I'm not going to do this particular style, maybe or maybe not, I don't know. But this, boys and girls, is a striker. This is a piece of church, which is what we have instead of flint here in Illinois. You see, you can knock off a spark and hypothetically start a fire with it. Got a little bit of a spark. There we go. But the question is, can I take this washer and forge it into a striker? Well, let's find out. And if you haven't liked and subscribed yet, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Check out some of the other videos. Maybe go buy something from my Etsy store. Or maybe just watch me turn this into something. Now there's a possibility it'll completely fail. And let's find out. Now I've got a couple railroad spikes in here that I'm going to be making some bottle openers from. So what I'm going to do real quick, while that is heating up, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a twist in each one of these, and then I'll set them aside. My twisting wrench here. Doesn't want to get on there, but it will. Railroad spikes are fun. Now, what can I say, you know, guys? Okay, so this is all going to be hand forging. And I don't need a real big hammer. First, I'm going to have to open this up and it may be either easier said than done. Let's get that a lot hotter. Get a couple of pairs of scrolling tongs. Okay, this stuff does not want to move. Let's use a vise first. That might work. Find out. Whatever it is, it's definitely a tough steel. And I'm going to guess, very likely, I'm going to have to oil quench that. Next heat I'm going to put in the vise and see if I can't leverage it out some more. Not exactly sure what steel it is. Pretty sure I can make a knife blade out of that piece, but I want to try making a striker. How's it going, everybody? Hope you're doing well. Once more, if you haven't subscribed yet, great opportunity to do so. Okay, so now we're going to go back to actually forging. That steel's cooling off pretty quick. There's not a lot of mass there, but for what is there, it's strong. So let's straighten this out. I could definitely make a small knife blade out of that. Wow. So I'm thinking just kind of a C-shaped striker. Might curl the ends, might not. Get a little bigger hammer. Something I can still move fast enough. Are you ready? Here we go. We're about there. Here we go. Out the other side. This is going to make a rather robust fire steel, if you will, a rather robust striker. And what I want to do, I want something that's going to last. I want something that's going to be strong. When working high carbon steel, it's very important to keep it hot. You let it cool down too much, you chance fracturing it out, just breaking your piece in general, or having it break later. Which there's a possibility that this could break later, just being an old piece of steel that has been out in the weather and been subject to vibration and compression. It can happen. Curl those in to make a, kind of a C shape so that it wraps around my fingers. Now you can do this, you can test it as you go along by checking it to see if it does wrap around your fingers. I recommend not doing that while it's hot, okay? That could burn. American bladesmith, where did I learn to do this? When I was 10 or 12 years old, my family did frontier reenactment. And everybody had a trade, so I got into blacksmithing. And then I went, kind of transitioned more to bladesmithing. From there, I went from the living history side of things to doing this as a full-time job. Also appearing on Forged in Fire, Season 4, Episode 2, on Master of Arms on Discovery, Season 1, Episode 1. Being asked to be a contributing author in Next Level Knife Making, producing instructional DVDs, which are kind of dated now, I guess. Digital content and teaching on college level. So that's kind of where I came from. I don't work out. No, I literally do this all the time. This is in my store, and I forge. If I'm not traveling, I'm forging. So I am getting warm though. But no, I actually don't work out. I'm a full-time bladesmith, and once I get the eye surgery done, I hope to test for my journeyman smith as well. All right. Let's rotate this over here just a little bit. If you will. That's not where I want it, but it'll get there. Sometimes it's worthwhile going to a lighter hammer because I want to move the steel. I don't want to move the tongs and everything, just that point. Next, I'm going to go ahead and curl the other side in. Kevin Thompson, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Have I been on any podcast? Yes, Behind the Anvil, Mike Peterson, another Forged in Fire contestant. My cousin Stephen Rhodes did a podcast I was part of. I've been on a few podcasts, yes. speed. Very cool. Well, hello from, unfortunately, Central Illinois. I'm going to try to get it equal to the other one. That may be pushing a bit much. So I'm going to have to work out towards the end of the horn of the anvil. There's a little more I can do with this, so we're going to do a little more. What kind of hammer? This is a Trenton Tide Purgatory Ironworks hammer right here. Hi from Utah. There's Mike Peterson. You should check him out at Behind the Anvil. Mike, I ain't got my glasses on. I can barely read. Try to tighten this curl up just a little bit right here. Now one thing I'm going to do, a lot of times with the C-shaped strikers, people will put their fingers right up next to that steel. Well, if you miss or you get a shard of flint or obsidian, anything like that, it's going to cut you badly. That's what it's really good at. And so this may allow me to grip back just a little bit further. I'm going to find out. I'm actually going to keep some curve to the surface. Quite well. All right. So I'm just going to let this cool, and I think I'm going to go ahead and grind the exterior. One, there's going to be decarb, but very importantly, you saw how rough that texture was. I'm concerned that there could be some soft points on that steel, and I really don't want it to be overly soft. Now, girls, do not do this. I will be going back on the podcast Behind the Anvil. In fact, I may have some time to do that in the next couple of days if I'm lucky, while I'm still in state. think the American bladesmith should do, I think it would be really cool if there was maybe some travel involved, going from shop to shop, seeing what everybody does. So you could flare that out like a built-in finger shield. In this case, I'm not going to do that, but yes, you could do that. Yeah, it's probably one of Grandma's spaghetti pots or something. I have a vat, if you will, of oil. It's ordinary canola oil. And for this simple high carbon steel, it's going to work just fine. What I'm going to do, I'm going to quench in the oil, and then I'm likely to go ahead and give it a quick dip in water so that it blows some of the scale off. And then when it's cool, we're going to test it out. One thing I'm going to do first, I'm heating a piece of steel in my forge, and I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oil here. Oil, then water. That would be very cool on the Rhodes series. Still pretty thick. I'm actually going to go ahead and normalize my striker right now while I'm preheating that oil. Just because, yes, I know that there's stress in that piece as much as it's been manipulated and all. I doubt it's like a 5160, but it is awful tough. Very tough for that little piece of steel right there. 3/8 of an inch by probably 1/4 inch or so. Crazy. Barely blowing. I really don't want this glassy brittle. I think I'll probably end up using my my scrolling tongs because there's a minimal point of contact here. You can see that. Minimal point of contact. Why minimal point of contact? Less bleed off. And I'm going to try. This would actually probably be better with the cold forge. I'm going to try to leave those curls relatively soft just because they are likely to break off. And I've had it happen before. I mean, you've made hundreds and hundreds of strikers like I have. You're bound to do it, especially if you're water quenching. We're going to do oil quench, and if that doesn't work, we're going to go to a water quench. So a couple of things I'm going to get ready. Give me just a moment. I have a piece of flint here. Okay, we know that strikes. have a file so we can check for hardness if it doesn't harden up. Let's see, do a video on how to make a horse trimming knife that the farriers use. I may do that at some point, yes. All right, and it is time for us to go in for the quench. Everybody wants to see the quench? Here we go, and I'm going to quench and keep it moving. You see some temporary colors coming on. Dip that in a little bit more. Right. So there we have a striker. Now I could put my entire fist in this. Mike Peterson would give me a "that's what she said" or something. But if I were to break this or come in at an angle, I slip, it slips, whatever, it can be bad. Well, let's do a couple things real quick. One, I'm going to clean this off with the grinder. Next, let's come over here to the vise. Okay. We're going to check for hardness of this piece. And I can see definitive quench lines and then zones of transitional hardness. Now, coming in here, that cuts pretty easy. Now this should be soft and hard. It seems like that edge cut relatively easy. And that may be sliding because it's difference there, but I'm not getting what I was hoping. This may be too hard. Let me get a different piece of flint. So here's some coarse shirt with some sharp edges. This marks just fine. I want to see that camera. All right. I am barely. Oh my. That did not harden enough. All right. I've got a very rough edge right here. Yeah, did not harden enough. It hardened some, but not enough. Guys, we're going to go ahead and go to water next. And if that doesn't work, we're going to super quench. We could just go to super quench. That might be too much. don't know the nature of the steel, aside from it's a high carbon spring steel, this is a file. Files work okay. I don't know if what the alloy content is, but we're going to try water quench because oil, maybe the oil needs to be hotter. Maybe it needed to stay under longer. Maybe it needed to soak longer in the porch. I bet we find out soon. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe, like the video, share out the channel. I greatly appreciate it. All those situations, it's trial by error. All right, looks like it's coming up to heat. Crab Castle Forge, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. All right. On timber lines now, or quench lines rather. Let's see what we have. A file. I mean, cleaning up that surface pretty good, and then it's kind of slipping. There it is. I got one, and I have gouges. Broke my rock. Okay, that is still way too soft. Well, let's clean it down again. Okay, I'm not sure what the issue is. This is, it's not striking. Not much at all. Okay, we tried oil. Didn't work. Tried water. Didn't work. Master of Arms, I peed in a bucket and quenched my prison in that. That could work. Instead, I'm going to use the super quench. This is referred to as a slippery brine in old text. This is a more modern take on it. And let's check this rock again. Definitely strikes. Super quench. This batch needs to be replaced. It really does. Super quench is composed of 4.5 gallons of water, 5 pounds of rock salt, 32 ounces of Dawn dish detergent, and about 8 ounces of jet dry. Now, I don't think I'm getting the steel too hot. I don't think it's cooling quick enough. Then again, maybe it's stainless was just covered in pits and rust for some reason. All right, we're going to be going into super quench. start in the bucket over here. Okay. Super quenched. Whatever it is, I mean, it's tough. Seems like it's skating more. Alright, if this didn't get hard enough, next we're going to mix some Viagra, some Cialis, get some, I don't know, some kind of Chinese potion that uses animal penises and deer antler. We're going to see if it gets hard enough. Alright. I'm seeing some sparks, and that's while it's wet. Let's dry it off. That did it. Well, it took super quench to do it, but I think it worked. Let me grind this down just a little bit more. Maybe there was an excess decarb, I don't know. Well, there you go. Cleaning it down, super quenching. Apparently it works. There you have it. Can you do it? Yes, you can. Did it take a little bit of work? Sure did. Sometimes it takes a little bit of experimentation to really get to where you're going with one of these projects. I'm going to go ahead and kill my cords real quick. So, okay, I've got the file steel striker. It strikes. I have the railroad not spring clip, but lock washer striker. And I did say robust. This thing probably weighs twice of what this one does. And the file steel striker is definitely higher carbon than this one. That's okay. Kind of cool. Now, as I said, we were dealing with an unknown alloy. I am seeing what may... I'll take my glasses off so I can see better. I'm seeing what may be the beginning of a fracture line here. I'm not sure. That could just be the scale. That could be from multiple quenches. That could be from forging. That could be from age. Guys, it's really hard to tell. And I think it's actually something to do with the grain of the steel, because I'm seeing it up in here where there was not as much quenching, but there was quenching. So, can you do it? Yes, you can. Should you try it? Why not? And can I grip it like a pair of brass knuckles and strike? I can. Can I be a little safer back here? Put a little bit of distance. Hey. There you have it. Be sure to like and subscribe. Check out some of the other videos. Check out the links in the description. And be sure to check out American Bladesmith Behind the Anvil. Hoping to be on there again soon. You guys have a great one. Have a great rest of your evening. We'll catch you later.